This down in deepest, darkest Africa. Africa. Who's the one who brought the jungle back? Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the white lion is his name. When we get in trouble and we're in a fight, who's the one who just won't turn and run? Who believes in doing good and doing right? Kimba the white lion is the one. Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. This is our 429th episode, and we're well on our way to 500, which will be some kind of big deal. We've also got 440 subscribers on our way to 500. It would be cool if we got there at the same time, but I'd really like to get to 500 before that. So please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. That really helps the algorithm. Also, if you could, please watch just a little longer than normal. A couple more minutes. Really helps out. All right, it is Monday. That is the animated episode day, animated series, if you will. Today we are looking at episodes 11 through 15 of Kimba the White Lion, starting with Catch 'Em If You Can, which was originally broadcast September 3rd, 1967. And then there was a bit of a hiatus, it looks like. Pardon me, that's wrong. That's the U.S. title, the U.S. syndicated. It was originally broadcast in Japan December 15th, 1965, and then 15 was January 12th, 1966. So, Catch 'Em If You Can. This is actually in the Japanese part one, and then the second one was part two, as we'll see. They're originally called Konga's Hunting Ground, although I think they say Tonga in the U.S. dub. See, this is Professor Bazooka using his new vacuum gun. This is Billy Bully, who is a Wild West cowboy, as you can tell. And this is the Great Gusto. He sounds like he's from Russia, comrade, but some Slovakian area, maybe, fighting a poor old ape. Although the narrator says it's a very angry ape. And here is Sandy or Gazello or something. They have two names. It's kind of hard to remember which one is which at the time. But he escapes from the hunt from Tonga's game compound where they just try to drive the animals crazy, and they captured him. She's invited all of these three other hunters to come for a tournament and to see who can hunt the best. But really, it's just so she can get Kimba. She's a little obsessed and a little nutso. So they're just talking about hunting and how much fun it is to do just to shoot innocent animals. There's Tonga and her second in command, and I don't know what his name is, but he's the funnier one and actually the nicer one. But yeah, she's cuckoo. So I think the great Gusto there is wrestling obviously a river ox. I don't think that's Samson, but you just never know. So these are pictures are from the Internet Archive copies, which you can download the whole thing if you want to, but I just didn't have enough time to get through to the actual, didn't put the discs in. Kimba gets captured thanks to Professor Bazooka along with Sandy, so maybe that is a different animal. And then old Billy Bully here, a champion of the Wild West or something. I'm not even sure if he's a hunter. But he challenges Kimba to a duel in an old-fashioned saloon. They blast it up. He thinks he's won, but Kimba's tricked him into dropping a chandelier on his head. Kimba had made him promise that if Kimba won, he would turn him loose and help turn his friends free, and he does. He turns on old Tonga, much to her chagrin. They get everybody out, but Professor Bazooka and his henchling there, he reminds me of somebody. His car floats. They're also the supercar from golden bat looks like it in that cartoon. So there it is. See, but it's got razor blades in it. Yeah, I'm going to use a laser or a razor or even a taser anytime I can. Of course, the professor, when he's without his gun, he's a big coward, so he runs away. And then we get a spiel at the end where the whole thing is, geez, wouldn't it be nice if people wouldn't just go around killing things that they didn't need to? I mean, they understand that everything becomes food for something else, but I would be interested in watching a Japanese subtitled one of the whole series. It would be quite fascinating, I think, because in the next episode we get some whitewashing. But everyone's happy. Woo! We do have a lot of pictures here to get through. So, episode 12, The Hunting Ground. More of the same, essentially. But you have to pay a bribe to hunt, of course. And once again, Tonga and her henchmen, they do have some funny moments. That's Turkle, the turtle, obviously a desert turtle. And they still haven't saved everyone, or they've caught more animals. And that there is Belladonna, the lioness, who has gone to the side of the humans. Roger's thinking about his friend Mary, who we've seen already and are still seeing, really. Then he wakes up. Dodie wakes him up, and they take. So Bella, as they call her, shows up and says, "Oh, I've got something for you from your parents," and it's a trap. Then Kimba rescues her, and she still pushes him down. Wakes up with Turkle, who they've been looking for. And then Tonga is just awful to Bella, who's just, not smart. Kimba is not happy to see Tonga. Now they've all figured out, man, I never noticed Roger's running around barefoot in the jungle, much like Tarzan. Turkle gets away. Kimba bends the bars to get at least that far to push him out. The snake tries to eat him. He grabs a ride on an eagle. And we've seen Roger swinging through the jungle like Get Tarzan, or even Tarzan, or Khazar, the strongest of them all. And that looks like a city to me, but that's the compound, Tonga's compound. And he goes to rescue Kimba. They beat up a bunch of guys. Kimba and Bella have a fight. She's no match for him, of course, because he's the star. And then they radio Tonga. And now none of these people are surprised that Kimba's talking to them at all or anything. They radio her and tell her to come back. And orders are orders. So Bella wants to go free, and Kimba says, okay, if you don't try to double cross us. She plans to double cross them again. Fool me once, Kimba. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Won't get fooled again. But unfortunately, as she tries to get Tonga to to get over there to shoot Kimba or something, up pops Roger, who calls her Mary, and she's like, I don't know who this Mary is. And Bella falls down and apologizes to Kimba for betraying her own kind and dies. Now, the dub says, you rest here, and you hear her say, I will. But it's pretty obvious she's dead. So, I get it. Death is traumatic, but, I mean, whitewashing it isn't any better. So Roger takes action. And Kimba and Turkle go along for the ride. But, yeah, I couldn't help it. Ranger kick! Suddenly it starts snowing. It's the misty, magical, mystical mountain. And guess what comes down? The mammoth. Scares Tonga away. But when she asks Kimba what his name is, because Kimba's trying to save Turkle, and she's like, I don't want to hurt you two, and we will meet again. Dun, dun, dun. And the narrator ends with the quote about, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Who knew King Kong versus Godzilla would have so many uses? And that's the end of that one. So here we have The Trappers, which, in a similar vein, but Tonga's run away, so she's not in this. However, they're in Tokyo there, as you can see. Tokyo or something. And there's Viper Snakely and his buddy Tubby, because what else would you call a chubby little guy? And that's Mr. Tweed, who's Mr. A lot of money wants some animals. Roger is missing his family, so Kimba gets everyone to sing for him, and that's where they run. Viper runs. Viper and Tubby put their guns down and pretend to be professors from Cambridge or Harvard or maybe they're Yaleys. But then Kimber remembers where he's seen them first because they took Snoween, his mother. Of course, they just want to have fun, and they invite the animals to a party where they all dance and didn't they think that talking animals would be worth a lot more money? But all three of these guys have figured out Bucky, Daniel, and the ever excitable Polly who Viper is. But Kimba says, I'm not going to get revenge on him because an eye for an eye only leaves everyone half blind. Wise Kimba's a wise animal. But these two doofuses have dosed the soda, they call it. Looks like grape juice that burns to me. And everyone falls asleep, including Tubby. And they're going to rescue him, but they've already taken off. Roger's got his hands tied because he drank the drugged soda. And then suddenly, Viper says, that's my favorite gun we threw down. I have to go get it, which leads Kimba and a battle. And he says, if my gun goes off, Tubby will kill everybody. Kimba obviously bites him hard on his gun hand. But the gun did go off. Kimba thinks everyone's going to die, but they go run. Suddenly, Samson, it's Samson's voice. They don't call him that, but it's got to be Samson. They're attacking Viper and Tubby. And Polly goes in and scratches faces because Viper and Tubby have a bunch of henchmen or goons. Daredevil said what the difference between henchmen and goons are, and I forget. I think goons are the believers and henchmen are the mercenaries. They destroy all of except one Jeep, and Roger says, get out of the jungle and never come back. We'll find out if Viper comes back. Tubby says he's reformed and he wants to stay in the jungle and live with him, but Kimba says go back to the civilized world and tell everyone to be nice to animals. So that's what they do. And then Tubby sends a letter in some language to Kimba. Look at this! I'm really struck by the artwork, or just the way it looks. It's gorgeous. I've gotten to notice that more in these cartoons now that I've watched them because I've seen them enough that I don't have to really pay attention. But it is something here. All right, let's go to the next episode here. Okay. So for the audio portion of our show today, we're going to do episode 14, and this is Journey into Time, which tells us a little bit about Kimba's background or his family's background, and that should be fun. There we go. Look at that. To me, that looks...
In the remote interior of Africa, high in the hill country, there lives a rare and unusual beast. His name is Specklerex. He is the king of the ancient and honorable order of spotted lions.
Sure looks like a very familiar site that Disney copied. I'm finding, there's so much more here, so I'm glad that they settled. And apparently all parties are happy. So Specklerex is a jerk. Well, he's an old jerk. This is Valley. They have the Conference of Lions is what's coming up here. And guess who's happy about it? It's this dingus here.
Rid of Kimba. He doesn't know Specklerex hated his father. He's in for a shock.
Kimba and Claw.
What do you mean that Kimba's in for a shock?
No sense, none of your beeswax, you hear?
So it's Tim and Tab are always, or what the heck are they? Tim and Tom, Tim and Tab. They're always fun, good, and so Kimba's going to go to this, and he's going to get ambushed because Specklerex doesn't like his dad. And Claw goes as well, I guess. I don't know. But there they are. There's Speckle Rex.
I asked you who you are.
Excuse me, Kimba's my name. Son of Caesar, the White Lion.
White Lion?
What's the matter?
Take a look around you at the other animals that have come here. You don't see anyone else that's white like you, do you?
So there's probably a subtle message in here that Kimba's being discriminated against. Interestingly enough, the spotted lions don't seem to have a problem. But this, of course, leads to a fight. And Kimba beats them all up pretty well, but then when they're about to get clobbered,
Oh!
Do you know this stranger, Kitty?
Oh, yes, Uncle Speckle Rex. He's a good friend of mine. Oh, please, Uncle, make him set him free. Please.
Very well. I wouldn't do this for anyone else but you. All right.
Kimba, are you hurt? Let me get some water. Thanks, Kitty.
Kitty, come back here.
Why, Uncle Speckle Rex?
You're my niece, Kitty. I forbid any relative of mine to befriend that little white pussycat.
But Uncle Speckle Rex.
Don't talk back to me. Send him away right now.
I'm sorry, Kimba, but I have to do as he says.
well, so Kimba's all bummed out and gets back. Tim and Tab are spreading rumors that he's not a real lion because they're little jerks. Nobody really wants to hear it.
You're wrong, but I heard that Kimba's upset because he found out that he's not really a lion. What? He's not?
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. However, Rogers found a book from somewhere, and this will tell the story of Kimba's origin. Well, the White Lions.
Yes?
Look here, I can show you some other proof. This is a book from the library. According to this, there have been a great many white lions.
What library, Roger? You're in the jungle. You haven't been back to civilization. Otherwise, your clothes wouldn't be in tatters, and you'd probably be wearing shoes in a jungle that's full of prickly things and slimy things and bitey things and stingy things. Go figure. But guess where he was?
They were kings of the jungle.
Stop, Flinkies! Why aren't you watching the dance?
And why don't you wear the beautiful robe King Tut-Tut and I gave you instead of those rags?
So the White Lions are from Egypt, and
I saw that robe and gave the money to the poor.
What?
so this is the man who gave the original White Lion a super smart drink to enhance his brains, which is why Kimba's so much smarter than and Caesar and I don't know if Snoween was, but go figure. So then they go through. There's all the white lion hides because they all migrated over to Africa, and now Bucky and Polly are cheering on. Well, they're pretty much making fun of Tim and Tab. That does go on for quite a while.
And tribes. One day, Egyptians. Great leaders.
I hope I can beat Uncle Speckle Rex. I used to tell you.
Seeds of truth, the living proof, the truth, like seeds, will grow, like weeds, start out small and grow. To sing a song of right and wrong.
It's amazing that they got this out. So Kitty comes back and says, "I'm going to be your friend anyway."
I used to tell you. I found out I'm a lion. Oh, I'm so happy for you. But I didn't believe my uncle when he said you weren't. Does your uncle know you're here? I wouldn't want to see you get into any trouble on my account, Kitty. My uncle's going to have to change. I'm your friend no matter what. Oh, you're a real pal. Oh, I almost forgot, but...
You're a real pal. Smooth, Kimba. Smooth. And back they go. And they're going to have a fair fight.
Because you were enemies with my father. You hated him because he was smarter than you.
What?
But that was your own fault. You...
Ash, get that cat!
So they choose old Fang here, who pretends to be a fair fighter. And Kimba's strong enough to throw him out of the water. And then they go into a cave.
And I'll give you a bribe!
Do you promise?
Cross my heart!
That's unfair, you coward! Come on and fight!
He's fighting bats. So he thinks he's won, but unfortunately, there's a pool and everybody saw it, and they exile Fang or do something with him. Speckle Rex is not happy. Kimba wins. He's beat up, and there he says, "Okay, you can be friends."
Kimba, did you hear what Uncle Speckle Rex said? Uh-huh. I guess it means he isn't going to hold a grudge against me any longer, Kitty. He's really a noble king, isn't he? Uh-huh.
Kimba! Whoa! Hey, what's a big idea, Donald?
Yeah, you were the one who asked us to help you look for Kimba.
Well, we found him, didn't we? We don't want to interrupt while he's speaking to a friend. Let's go!
Why?
'Cause he's busy, March! Oh, no,
Polly went back. It's just a funny scene, and Daniel is obviously the wisest of them all. He gets it, even though the censors or the NBC was trying to pretend that there was nothing other than friendship going on between Kitty and Kimba. But I mean, come on, everyone knew it. So this is a very dramatic episode, but it's also very touching and very gentle. The humor is really nice, so that's why we used it as opposed to the next one. So there they are.
Race you to the top.
They're going to the top there and looking out.
Oh, Kimba, I'm so glad we can be friends again.
Uh-huh.
All the animals should be friends, Kitty, so we can help one another and live together in peace.
Then she batted him right upside the head for being a dope. And, speaking from a male perspective, sometimes you got to get batted upside the head for being a dope. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, and we're back. Let me embiggen this. There we go. So, our last episode is Scrambled Eggs, which is a supremely silly episode, but it's cute and touching. You can just guess what's about it. It's springtime in the jungle, and the kids are in school. Kimba is called the teacher. So we're only 15 episodes in, and Kimba's already, he's obviously smarter, but he was going to school with the kids originally, and now he's the teacher. They're singing. There's a lot of singing in all 5 of these episodes. Speedy goes tearing through the jungle. There's a great shot of Kimba looking a lot like Spanky from the Little Rascals, doing a slow burn. But I couldn't get the screen grab properly. That's Henrietta Hen bragging about her eggs. But while they're doing spring cleaning of the jungle, they put all the eggs into a pile. Did no one think this was a bad idea at all? Speedy ends up pushing them into the water because, he's not very brave. He didn't know what eggs were because he's a mammal. Now they're looking for the eggs. And the hens all have problems. And they get into a fight. And they go find them. And there's Alligator. As we'll find out, Allie is Lily or Lial. Geez, Lili. David. 7. Stop saying things. Don't use your fake names. Turkle tells Buggy where the kids are. They're living in a van down by the river. Well, they're trying to save the eggs down by the river. And so they're the egg. They're just floating. Apparently, all eggs float and couldn't get harmed at all when they're in a cold river. One of the parents actually mentions that. But these little guys help out, and then I forget what the ape's name is, but he ends up saving everybody, and then ends up in the water. And Kimba jumps out, carries him back. Super lion indeed. Apparently, that wasn't just a super smart serum; it was a super strength serum. Maybe he could have been Captain Africa, Kimba the Captain Africa lion. Anyone who knows cereals just laughed at that. It was supposed to be a Phantom cereal. We'll get to the Phantom, promise. But look at that. It looks like a pastel painting or a pastel drawing. Your humble agent was not good with pastels. Still isn't. And now the parents have to figure out which eggs belong to whom. And once again, all the hens are yelling at Kimba. And there's one egg left over. Kimba decides to bury it and be the mother, but apparently somebody swiped an alligator egg. Once again, it's kind of a screwball comedy, really. And it's wise where they have three semi-serious episodes and then they do a semi-comical one. A serio-comic fantasy like Son of Kong. Polly's supposed to, but Kimba's doing the jump between the mouths. It looks like they're just trying to have fun here, but the egg hatches. It's Junior. It's Allie's baby. Allie's a mama. So Allie alligator. Bye. So finally, now they're all embarrassed because they're ending up, and Henrietta has gotten on Daniel's last nerve, which you don't want to mess. You don't want a PO'd baboon ever. They're all imagining what could be in this final giant egg. And I just thought this one was funny. What the hell is that thing, Bucky? It hatches and it's an ostrich because I forget who brought that in from the desert. So they're all laughing, and the ostrich is ugly and cute all at the same time. Oh no, Ma! No, no, no. I guess Beaky Buzzard. Well, he looks like Beaky Buzzard a bit. But tell me if you look at an ostrich, tell me that doesn't look like a dinosaur. Look at those feet. It can disembowel things. So they're singing again, and then suddenly eggs start hatching, and everyone realizes, oh, these aren't our kids. They take little Beaky Buzzard, Beaky Ollie Ostrich, I don't know, Octavio Ostrich, take your pick. Home, he says, yep, and that's it. As the narrator says, everything ends sunny side up. Couldn't resist. It sounds like Peter Fernandez wrote it now, doesn't it? So here's our credits. They get everyone's name properly. Osamu Tezuka, not Tezuka, as yesterday's movie was. And there's our voices, coordinated by Fred Ladd, Titan Productions. It wouldn't surprise me, but it doesn't have Peter's name in it. But this is the English theme music, of course, and an NBC Enterprises presentation. All right, 5 more episodes of Kimba. We're let's see, to 52, about not quite a third of the way done, but I think these are good episodes. The first half is establishing it, and then they get into some little. Well, they've already got a mammoth floating around, a mystical mammoth, although that does not look like a woolly mammoth. That looks like just a big elephant, which is what Tonga calls her until she crunches a. Anyway. That is our 2 episodes, our 5 episodes for the day. And until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off.
Who's the one who brought the jungle fame? Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimba the white lion is his name.
I'll show you a little more. There's the mammoth. You all sang that, didn't you?